you guys want to push these couches back, well, that one really, to get more room, by all means, we could swap this out and get it nice and comfy and get the jam feel going. Is that a 6-string?
Yeah, same ones before.
Really?
He's always played 6-string.
I forgot. It's been that long. It has been that long.
For this album, we didn't want to be in the studio for 18 months like we were for Dim the Lights and Leave for a Better Place. We recorded that in 2006. That was a really, really, really difficult process. It was draining financially, emotionally.
We had a lot of tunes left over from when we got done recording our last album, Dim. We had, I think the original album that was going to come next had 14 songs on it, I think. Then we had lost our drummer, we lost our bass player, Mike, ended up moving to Toronto to work.
What do? It was just, it came to a natural end, well, not an anybody wished for, but as I said, life got in the way. We had places to go. This wasn't feeding us. When Foreign Film Star was together, 2 of the 3 of us were in school, and Matt and I both got jobs. We both went, like Matt went to Chatham, which was acceptable, but I got a job in Toronto, so that was that.
After the band broke up in 2007, all the work that we put into the band's album that came in 2006 was kind of washed out because there was no band to promote the songs that we recorded together. So that was really rough on me. The 18 months to record, and then a year after not having anything to really back up what you did was very difficult for me.
It was probably last year we played a show. It had been the first one we played since, man, when did he say, 2007? It had been a while.
She said dancing was her reflection, the beauty trapped inside. She was a waterfall in slow motion, and then I saw her cry.
We had a good time, and it was one of those moments where we were lamenting about what we had and hadn't sort of finished before we went our separate ways.
We wanted to make all the decisions as a trio with regards to where we were going to record, although we knew it was going to be Marty again. That wasn't really too much of a consideration.
What I always like about Marty is Marty's not afraid to tell us when we fucked up. Marty's not afraid to tell us when to do something again because it doesn't sound good.
That slide. It's because you're going from one string to another, and I think the other one is kind of still resonating as you're sliding out.
Yeah.
I think.
Usually I like that sound, but it doesn't record very well.
Just a little bit cleaner. That's perfect. That was much better.
We've worked with other engineers and other guys who would let something like that fly, and Marty isn't going to let that fly, and that's perfect, because otherwise we will let it fly.
When Jamie called me, he said, so yeah, I want to book 6 days in the studio, 8 hours a day. And then, so we booked it, and time's going by, and looking at my calendar, I should call Jamie just to confirm what's going on, because I didn't know what the hell's what's happening. We just started talking on what's going down, who's in the band, who's what equipment they're bringing, and what we're actually doing.
For anything that I'm involved in, I want it to be really high fidelity. I want it to be a recording from 2013 with all of 2013's advantages. And 6 years ago, when we recorded Dim the Lights and Leave for a Better Place with him, we were a completely different band. And now we're just really all relaxed, and like I said, there's no drummer drama, so everybody's getting along in the studio really well, and everybody's learning from one another, and he's just a great facilitator for moments to be captured.
We have live versions of them recorded at Avalon Front. We have all these demos laying around, and we keep listening to them. Especially, I know Mike and I have talked about it for a long time now. We've been listening to these songs and just want a good frickin' copy of it. That's all it is.
For all those I have friends,
as we started to go looking at recording the next album, Jamie's like, well, shit, I got 10 songs laying around that I have nothing to do with. All right, so we start looking at them.
And we just kind of worked out some stuff with a recording program that had a whole bunch of loops. So we got the grooves down for everything, we got the parts down for everything. We're a guitar band, first and foremost, so guitar is a huge, huge thing that we consider for quite a while. Got all that down pretty quick after one jam. We sent demos away to Mr. Kevin Benny, who played drums.
I knew that, you know, coming from him, the music would be earthy and sort of organic, and would probably allow me to be myself a little bit. So I figured, you know, without even hearing the music, I said, yeah, I'm interested.
And I've always adored jazz drumming. It's one of my favorite styles. So when Jamie told me we got a jazz drummer in here, I was like, well, frig, perfect, I have no problems there. And then he exceeded expectations, is the best way I can put it. He hit some, like, we didn't throw easy things at him, and he really knocked a couple of them out of the park.
All of our drummers in the past have been very good, and some of them have, you know, fit us better than others, but they've been very, very good at what they do. But I find he's a little more laid back, he's a little more mature, he understands what his job is as a drummer.
Well, I basically listened strictly just for the enjoyment purpose first, and just sort of, you know, to get into the music, get into my head, get into my heart a little bit.
He made charts. He charted out our music. He was so prepared. It was wonderful.
Okay.
So it is probably
It's
this
really
one.
short. It would be really
Yeah,
short
it's
then, eh?
really short.
So it's 4 bars instead of 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes when you're hearing something, you're enjoying it for the vibe, but you may miss out on some details. So I find that when I write stuff down, it helps me later, especially in the studio, when there's some quick changes and dynamics and different things that guys, you know, are asking for.
Kevin came in and knocked out 10 songs in 7 hours for the drums, and that was incredible. So it gave us a real positive start to the beginning of the sessions, and Mike laid down the bass after that.
Going to work or sitting in the shower, I'll play the song on loop for a while, and eventually I'll find myself humming along to something that will become the bass line, and then I sit down and figure out what I was humming. That's usually how it works.
I had written down that if you like Mystery Machine or Soundgarden or anything in that vein, you know, give me a call or whatever, throw me an email. And he's like, I'd never heard of anybody actually citing Mystery Machine as an influence, so I was really interested to meet you. And then, I mean, Mike comes from, at that time, Mike was coming from like a huge Primus influence. As a bass player, he was like a more experimental bass player, but he was really groovy, and I liked that because I think every bass player that I'd ever played with before had been a guitar player before they started to play bass.
You know, we recorded everything when we did practices back in the day, so we took all of that stuff and sorted through it and said, you know, these ones we used to play that we like, and I think that's 5 or 6 of these songs. I don't know anymore. They've changed a lot, and some of them sort of got melded into other things. And then some of them, you kind of watch those get made the last couple of days. Something like that.
Yeah, you look like you were having fun. That's pretty good.
God forbid. That moon thing, that big fat bass line, that was Pure mistake. It was one of those I was dicking around, like, yeah, it'll work.
You have the foundation of your recording, which is your rhythm section. So we got great tones for the bass, we got great tones for the drums. And then a month later we came in and started guitars. So Bailey came in, I went in, did the guitars, and we sat on that for a month. In 2003, 2002, I moved to Windsor for school, and I had a bunch of recordings, but no band. And I met Bailey at a jam night, and I played a chord for him from one of my songs, and he looked at me and he was like, "Who uses chords like that?" And I said, "Well, I do." He was like, "Well, we should jam." I think that's a compliment.
What is that chord that he's inventing randomly? And what the hell can I do? What notes do I have to play with? And I just start looking at stuff. So I figured we would just time box it to whatever it's going to be. That's what I'm going to lead over, and then we can still go out the way it is on the demo.
So you want to return to the
Yeah, because I didn't mind that.
ending on this?
I didn't mind that. I find that a lot of my riffs, especially on Dim as well and this one, a lot of octaves, a lot of linear stuff, a lot of harmonies, a lot of thirds, a lot of fifths. Like, I'll stack things on top of each other with layers, because I like that shit. And I also like it when a lot is said without a lot of notes changing. There's certain ways to get around that. Like, the subtle difference between a D and a B minor is just one little note. And sometimes you can get away with just playing with that one little note and making a whole world of difference.
How'd you say you would change this, Jamie?
I'd get a different singer to sing this song. This is like a Pink Floyd situation for Have a Cigar, where it was too high for Roger Waters to sing it, and their version wasn't good enough, and they got Roy Harper to come in, and he did an astounding job with it. I would prefer somebody else to sing this song, but since I'm the guy that sings, I guess I have to sing this song.
The process for writing words begins. And what I do typically is sit down in front of my computer with a mic in my hand and I scat gibberish.
Let's run it through. I'm curious to what it'll sound like in this one.
Me too.
Here we go.
The sunset against my face, and all the greatness of endless blue. There with you, in the sea cloud and break, I smile on the sidewalk.
and then I work out the cadence of how the words are going to fall from that process. And a lot of times, words that will inspire a line, that will inspire the song to be written, come from that. It's a really weird personal process, and I don't know if it's enjoyable, but it works.
Out there with you, we can watch the stars fall and let it out, dream about the last day on earth ever. Out there with you, we can watch the stars fall and let it out and dream about the last day on earth ever.
You know, when we started the project back in March or whatever the fuck it was, February, we originally talked about writing one album. So, you know, well, before that session, we originally talked about writing one album. Came into the studio, realized we had gobs more songs than we thought we did. So fuck it, let's record 2 albums. Yay, because we're idiots.
This time around, we are quite sure of the material, we are quite confident in the drummer, and I think if anything, it'll result in a better album, a tighter album, one that feels like a group.
You can't sleep, you can't rest. This is the only real test, yeah. You can't sleep, you won't wake, no, but you can try. If you like to feel alive. With all the needles in my mind can fall away. Precious crystal shrine, scheming freedom from this kneeling down.
Because it might be silly.
I thought you meant you wanted to play it straight backwards, but you want to play it straight backwards and then flip it so it's forwards but backwards.
Yes. So the
Got it.
guitar's always
That
coming
third one,
into
you
the
kind of
note.
like the top of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, I'm
And
glad
just
that
give
you
me a
did
couple
that.
pennies on the ride.
Yeah. Because I figured we could either use it as an intro, an outro, even some like random thing in the middle of between 2 songs out of nowhere. There's this remnant of this song lingering through.
And again,
Because we do stupid shit.
We were really prepared for a lot of this stuff, and the songs that weren't necessarily put together from like 7 years ago came out magically. Like, there was just such a good energy for the entire week. Everybody's spirits were really high. We were really building off the momentum that we had started when we finished sessions in May. We had 10 new songs from starting in February to May, and now we have like an additional 9.
Guitar solo. You know, it's like do 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 do, right? Do do do, and it's do do do, 2 bars. I'm keeping it pretty straight there. Is that okay? No, I thought that fucking
Everything's great.
that grooved.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, I don't want to change a damn thing.
Except
Don't
the
want to
guitars
change
and
a
the bass.
thing.
Next one.
Maze?
Maze has always been a song I wanted to hear recorded right. The whole reason I wanted to do this was to hear that song recorded right. The other 18 songs to me, or whatever the fuck it turns out to be, is bonus. I wanted that song. Mike's the same way for a different song. I think Graceland was his. It's a shame that these songs have been around for so long and all we want to do is hear it. So Maze is still, I think, one of the best things we've done.
Where could we go? Escape this place. I have a thought, but it could be wrong. If anyone knew, they'd surely be mute. And we stay hungry, so it keeps us strong.
Kevin is the ringer that we bring in as a session player. So we are paying him for his performance. And I have to say, like, every song he played on was impressive. But the two that he nailed first takes for were really unexpected, but it was just so good that we said, well, there was no reason to really do another take.
How were we for meter? Were we pretty good, or were we?
Just the beginning was a little bit, needed
Okay.
some comfort, but afterwards it was on.
Because I was gonna say, after a while, I wasn't even listening to the click. I was just listening to Vinny and trying to keep up. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
He's got the click covered.
yeah. So if you got the click covered, man,
All
because
right.
I lost it.
No
and went,
problem.
oh shit! I'm just holding on to my ass and hoping I'm staying together. So
No problem.
that's what I do.
Not literally. Right? Okay,
Hard to play with a hand in my hand.
here we go.
I do it.
Don't try it. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Mike, when he was going through the bass, one moment that really impressed me and has always impressed me is the slappity slap bass that he does from time to time, because he really likes that stuff. And it fits really well with the song called Left Hand Man. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching him lay that down.
He has a great musical sense as well. He finds a good way. Jamie and I are busy guitar players typically, especially in the past. If you listen to Dim, he and I are writing these two massively busy parts over top of each other, and he's finding a way to fit in amongst it all. So I always think that Mike's got a really good way of finding his place without getting in the way. So if I were to describe Mike, that's how I would describe him. He can find his place, and he's uncomfortable.
Getting there. A few more takes. Let's hear that.
Yeah.
Nice. Second half was badass.
If I had to break Matt down, Matt's an enigma wrapped up in a mystery. I've known that guy for over a decade. I could probably list off on my fingers the number of facts I know about Matt. It's strange. He's a great guy and a great friend, but he's a very, very private man. But to play with him is a dream. He is hands down the best amateur guitar player I know.
Throughout all of my guitar sessions this time around, Jamie hasn't been here, Mike hasn't been here, so nobody knows what the fuck I just did. I could have come in here and played Mary Had a Little Lamb for 4 hours and they were going to get it, and they didn't know. I think they trusted the fact I wouldn't blow their money that way, but so I would say it's been an interesting experience this time around, the fact that I've kind of been left to do what I'm going to do.
The stuff that I did get to hear while I was laying my guitar tracks down, I thought that he, on Left Hand Man as well, I thought he really did a beautiful thing with his guitar work for it. Just great tone, crushing tone. And another one I would have to say that he did a great job on was Black Marker Art, because it's a song that we agreed that there was going to be no second guitar. And that was pretty much a first for us in the recording process.
Here we
So
go.
stupid fucking song again. Alright.
Nobody's fault but your own.
It's Jamie's.
2, 3, 4.
time, and one of the things that hasn't changed has been between Mike and Bailey and myself wanting to write challenging music. And I'm not talking about like a CD that's 74 minutes long as one track and it's like insanity caught on tape. We're doing things, we want them to sound good, we want the songs to sound good and be accessible, but compositionally we do want to push the conventions of rock. And I don't want to be in a prog rock band or anything like that, but there's moments when this band is very like prog rock. We like strange time signatures and riffing. And for me personally, I like complex chords that don't necessarily sound complex, but they have weird stresses, and how you present the progression to somebody is more and so as important as the chords you're using. It's like, are you just going to play a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or are you going to do something interesting where the progression flips on itself? And I don't know, I just think that's a whole lot of fun.
If I had to give him a place in this, it's like he is the driving force by a long shot. I would call him the chief riff writer. He comes to us with stuff that we then develop.
I think about it too much. So I can't force myself normally to think outside of the box that way. So even any riff I wrote for this thing is pretty meat and potatoes. Like I don't tip, you know, for me to go outside of the box, I actually got to take it home and figure it out. I can't think that way out of the gate. So it's nice that he can, because what it does is it makes us do things sonically. It makes us do things harmonically that otherwise we wouldn't do, because that would be a little too straight and narrow.
That's it.
Think so?
Pancakes for everyone.
Yay, pancakes!
Aside from having how many years since the last one between this, and I don't know, this feels friendlier. It's a hell of a lot easier. And as Jamie said, we had less of a sort of goal with this one. This is more for us, whereas the other one was more with the intention of trying to make a commercial somehow. And you know, all that left us with was thousands of dollars of unsold plastic. Unfortunately, it's not an easy process. So we're gonna do this. This is more for us, and if it goes somewhere grand, but I have no delusions about it. I'm doing this for my own purposes. I would like to hear it.
Yeah, I don't think we have any illusions of grandeur or anything like that. You know, we're all in our mid-30s now. The boat's almost, well, if it hasn't sailed, it's pretty much fucking final boarding on the fame train. You know, so I think we're just doing this now for us. We're just doing it to have fun.
It's really exciting. It's just really mellow. It's not like a normal rock and roll story at all. This isn't like we toured Japan in the 80s and now we can get back together and there's going to be people waiting.
You know, these guys are my friends. This has been a blast, just making this album and just getting back together again. That's all I ask of this anymore, quite frankly.
inside, like a waterfall in slow motion when I saw her cry. And tears remained the only thing left in her life. They didn't cause her pain. She tried to hold them all inside. So crushed by everything, she couldn't take no more.
That's way good.
Way
Nicely put,
too
Mr.
way
Yunker.
good.
Nicely put.